Before we dive into the episode, we just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Choircast. Just like the game of Survivor, Choircast is all about bold storytelling, taking risks, and amplifying voices that challenge the status quo. We are so proud to partner with a network that values authenticity, curiosity, and digging deeper, because that's exactly what we're all about here on Beyond the Torch. Thank you so much, Choircast, for making this show possible. Hello, Survivor fans. Welcome back to Beyond the Torch. This is the very first episode of 2026. Welcome to the new year. Woo! And it's a very special episode because today it is, I guess we could call it Beyond the Torch Estrogen Edition. I have our female co-host today. Courtney Yates has just so willingly come alongside because we're actually recording this in December, and we all know that Todd is very busy in December. I call him like one of the elves for Santa, like making his toys. Like there's so many that he's popping out right now. Literally. Did you see what I did there? Popping out.
He's popping out those times. And it's part of the agreement as runner-up. Whenever Todd can't perform his duties as winner of Survivor China, I step in. So
oh my gosh, I never thought about that, but that's beautiful. Well, Tina Wesson is here. And if you don't know who she is, why are you listening to this podcast? Because she is literally a legend in Survivor Land. She was on Australian Outback initially, which is where we first discovered this soft-spoken, Southern, lovely mother who was just a spitfire. And like I just fell in love with her in that moment. And then later on, she did All Stars. Didn't go as well as we'd hoped for Tina in that one. But you know what? I love that you've experienced the early vote out and making it to the end, because I want to talk to you about that later. And then also, and this was probably your favorite season because you got to do it with your daughter, Katie, Survivor Blood versus Water. So welcome, Tina Wesson.
thank you.
Yay! So glad you're here. How you doing?
I'm doing so good here in sunny Florida with my mom. So got out of the North Carolina cold mountains and come down here for the winter. So it is beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear it. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. And we love to celebrate survivors on this show and kind of shine a spotlight on you. Before we get going, though, we like to do this little segment called The Fans Have Spoken.
Okay.
And we highlight a fan of the show and like, what did they love about Survivor? What makes them just continue to watch it throughout the years? And today you're going to love Bo, Tina, because he talks about your season. Are we ready, ladies?
I'm ready. Bring it, Bo.
A couple of things. The Australian Outback season were, I felt, the most iconic characters. They also came back and did multiple other seasons. So whenever there was a season after that someone from the Australian Outback season was on, it just generated so much excitement in me, because that season I felt just had the most iconic players, and it was really exciting time when I watched it on TV all those years ago when I was much, much, much younger. And back then it was such a family event. We would sit around the television and it was a really big thing, and every week we'd do that. So I would say that's a season that was my favourite. And the other thing, that a move in the game that I think really stood out to me was when Denise voted Sandra out with her own immunity idol intended to save Denise and vote out Tony. I've just felt, and Denise saying that would have been her move if I had gone along with what she did. And to me, that stood out to me as a life lesson, because it got me thinking, yeah, like if you can make a move, if you have, it wouldn't be your move if someone handed you the baton to do it, and that's the only reason that you got it was because of someone else. Like if you have a decision you can make for yourself and be remembered for that and not be owned by someone else, that's a big thing to realize and a big achievement to do if you can do that.
That was pretty cool. And I have to admit, I think he's right. The first season, of course, always iconic because the characters and it was just so new. And we were like, what is happening? Are they going to kill each other? Like, what is this show? But then the second season, there was like a little bit of a rhythm, and it was so diverse, and it was so, everybody was just so different. And, you guys were still probably from some of the early people that auditioned who had really not a whole lot of ideas of how to play the game strategically, and kind of learned along the way. But Yeah, very memorable. I loved, of course, you and Roger and Elizabeth and Colby, all of you. I mean, Jerry, literally, I can't think of anybody that I didn't think was amazing on your season. Seriously.
Kel?
Well, okay. Maybe Kel. But we won't talk about the beef jerky guy.
Oh gosh, that was not nice, Tina. Not nice.
No, I mean, it's Survivor. That's what you do when the camera's in front of you and you're asked to talk about what's going on. Courtney, do you remember, did you watch this season? Because I know you didn't really watch Survivor.
No, I had
No.
not seen any Survivor until they at the audition they had us watch the Pearl Islands. But I'm curious, Tina, did you watch the first season before you played the second season? Like how was that working out for you?
I did. And actually, the season finale of Survivor was playing the day that I auditioned.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Huh.
I know. So I had made it to that first audition, which was for me. I had to go to Philadelphia, so from Tennessee to Philadelphia, and so it was that evening that they showed the finale.
Oh, wow. Were you so excited? Did you know at that point that you had made it, or you just were?
No. I just knew I made it past the first round. They liked my video and asked me to come there. And gosh, I was there. The interview lasted a long time. So I felt like, well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Crazy.
I feel like season 2, like the beginning parts of Survivor, it was still like really an adventure show. Like I feel like China, we were still kind of like on the adventure.
Oh yeah.
But by then it was like morphing more into the game. So I think what's like super interesting about your experience, Tina, is that you were in like the dawn of Survivor, you were in the first All-Stars, and then you were in like a way later season when it was like a completely different beast, and you thrived in those environments. Like Leslie said, they targeted you, right? Because you were a winner an All-Star. So that's sort of like, that's above you. There's nothing you can do about it. Right. But the fact that you won season 2 and then got like almost right to the end of season 30, whatever it was, is like, hats off, girl. That is a crazy resume to bring to this table.
Yeah.
And like Leslie said, I never was a Survivor fan. I always had to work at night. I heard about the show. I remember thinking, is this legal? Right. But all the people that came before us, Todd would talk about you endlessly in China. So I knew like pretty much like I knew everyone up to our cast just from like the tales he would tell. So I knew about you.
Oh,
before she met you.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, tell me a little bit about why you decided to do this. Here you are, you're a mom, you've got kids. Were they still at home at this point, right?
Middle school.
Middle school. What in the heck were you thinking?
I wanted to get out away from the middle schoolers. No, I'm teasing, totally.
No. That's a good answer though.
No, I watched the first season and my husband was like, Tina, that show is so you. And I've never, like, I didn't try out for cheerleader. I never did anything where I had to be in front of people. It's not that I'm shy, because I'm not shy, but I don't like being in front of people. You know, being in front of a camera, terrifying. I have performance anxiety. So, you know, to have to do this and knowing that all these people are looking at you, to know that all your teammates are counting on you, because I played 3 sports in school, but they were all individual. You know, it was on me. It didn't have to do with anybody else. And so, so I never thought about going on the show. But my husband, he was the one. He's like, it's so you. You know, you're social. You love camping. You don't care being dirty. You know. And he just kept on and on. I'm like, okay. And so I did it, never in a million years thinking that they would pick me. You know, I mean, I say I'm extraordinarily ordinary, and that's me. You know, there is nothing that stands out. And especially now, you know, I mean, they've got such iconic characters on the show, you know, and I just don't feel, and that's probably why I wasn't asked for well, I was asked, but I wasn't on 50 or on
40.
all winners.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. But because I don't feel like I'm that great at television viewing.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you there. I love you, but I'm disagreeing. I think you're a fantastic television. I think the reason that you worked so well on the show was because you were so relatable. I think every mom watching was like, heck, if she can do it, I can do it. I know that was me. I was like, look at her go. And you had like arthritis, right? Like rheumatoid arthritis. And I mean, out there doing what you did, saving the rice that one. I mean, like, I was like, she's in water that could take her literally away and end her life. I mean, like, it was so inspiring for me, you know?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's what I did love, about the show, especially in the early days, because it says, Jeff in his intro, he says, we take 16 ordinary citizens and we throw them together. And I think the operative word there is ordinary.
Mhm.
I mean, you get some people that just, I think it is hard to relate to because they are so,
Extraordinary,
yeah, ordinary. There
Or
you
just
go.
extra.
if you will.
And so, that's what I love. I loved that about the show. I remember after it was over, and this goes back to what Bo was saying. I said, Mark, I was talking to Mark Burnett, and I said, Mark, this show is bringing families together because that's what I heard. Anytime I'd go anywhere, that's what I heard. Our family, our family, our family, our family watches. We might not even be in the same part of the country, but we call each other after it's over.
Mhm.
And I was like, you had no idea what you were doing. And as far as the impact you're having on families, please, please keep this as family friendly as you are. And it was so funny because the next season after mine was Africa, where they're
Yeah.
taking off their clothes for chocolate. And
Yeah.
so apparently Mark Burnett does not listen to Tina Wesson.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I felt like when I finally got on the show, it was Survivor gone wild. We were literally ripping each other's clothes off in the mud.
Yeah.
Boobies were showing, penises were flying around. I was like, what in the heck is happening here?
Yeah, I saw a thing on Instagram the other day, and they were like, it was an old, season 20, old season, and they're like, why are the girls in their underwear and the boys have a full suit of clothes? And I'm like, gee, I wonder why. Do you think that's what we chose? Like,
Oh, right.
Production.
Casually.
That's so fun. Well, tell me a little bit about Tina. I know the fans love to hear about your casting process. Like, what was that like? What kind of questions did they ask you? Could you tell what they were trying to do with your character?
Yeah, it's really was quite interesting because in the early seasons and it is like you were talking about, it's still so new. You're not really sure exactly anything about anything, and you haven't heard the scoop from anybody else. Now
right.
people can talk to each other and, well, what can I expect? So we had nothing to expect. So I go into this room and there's two people at a table and a camera guy, and they're asking me questions, and they're asking me really outlandish questions. I mean, woohoo, off the chart. Like,
For example.
okay, like they were asking me a lot of political questions.
Hmm.
They would ask me, okay, so Tina, you are on this deserted island and you're filthy dirty, and you come to this beautiful waterfall, and everybody's stripping down, getting naked, and going in the waterfall. Are you going to get in the water with strip down and get naked with them? And I, well, my preacher's probably watching, and I would come to see this, so probably not, you know. So, I think that they were testing to see, how far, would this person go? Are they going to be boring to watch? So I just remember their questions just being a little outlandish, but it just went on and on and on. And
Did they know at this point that you were Christian?
I don't know.
I mean, you said
because
you're
I
a preacher. That probably,
yeah. I mean, I think because, and the reason I'm asking is because when I was in my casting, it was all questions about like, when was the last sin you committed? What do you think of stem cell research? What do you think? I mean, it was so ridiculous. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Just because I love Jesus does not mean I know anything about stem cell research. You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to do to me? It was so funny. So I feel like you being the Southern mom, who talked about her preacher, I think they probably were like, well, this is very relatable. This is
Yes.
something people will love. Yeah.
And I think that is a part of, they need to have
Yes.
the person of faith, I think, on the season. I think they might think that makes for good television for some reason.
Yeah.
But they definitely knew it by the time that I made it to LA and I was meeting with Mark and Jeff, because they were asking a lot of questions about that.
Mhm.
And so, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, okay, I heard a rumor that you were actually an alternate. Is that true?
I was. Yeah. I made it to the end and they said, okay, we're sending you all home. We'll call you and let you know if you made it. So in a couple of days, they called me and said I didn't make it, that there was another girl, my genre, 40 soccer mom, that they had chosen from the Midwest. And I'm like, oh, okay, boo-hoo, disappointment. Yeah. And I go home and my husband's like, oh, they'll call you back. I'm like, honey, why would they call and tell me I didn't make it, to call me and tell me that I did? And it was really sweet. He's like, Tina, there's no way they would not get you on this show.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I know he had such belief in me.
I love him.
Every day he would call me, well, did they call today? Have they called? Have they called? And I'm like, no. And it's kind of like ripping off that Band-Aid. Can we just move on here because it's so hard? And sure enough, about a week later, they called me. And the girl they had chosen, so we were supposed to skydive into Australia.
Right.
So 2000s.
I know.
And she had some reservations about skydiving, and she had 2 young kids. And she was like, well, let me think about it. And Mark said, call Tina. He said, I don't want anybody who has to think about it.
There you go. She probably is thinking about it to this day. If you're watching, another lady, that could be you. We could be talking to you.
Is that crazy?
Wow. I want to interview this woman.
Me too.
She probably lives with like such regret. Okay. But shout out to your husband for having like extreme faith. We love that.
I was getting ready to say, like, my husband was like, why? I don't get it. Like, he sat me down. He goes, please, I just want to understand. And so I finally told him, it was kind of like what you said, like I was the mom. And then, I was the daughter, then I was the wife, then I was the mom. I've never done anything for me. I really want to see what I'm made of. Wow. And he was like, okay, well, now that I get it, let's do it. And so then he was in.
Did he think that you
had lost my mind?
Why would he think why? Or
but I think he wanted me to see that I could, and wanted to see what I was made. He's very supportive after that, but he literally made me sit down. I remember the day we sat down at the end of the bed. We had a little bench at the bottom of our bed, and we sat there, and I cried. I was like, I don't get it. And then it was a few months later, Tina, as I was auditioning, that he saw you in Atlanta. Do you remember this? You probably don't.
All right, tell me the rest.
Okay. He was in a restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia. It was a business restaurant, or he was having a business meeting. And he called me and he goes, I think that's Tina Wesson over at the table over there. And I was like, wait, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I really think it's her. I said, honey, you have to go talk to her. He goes, I'm not going to do that. She's getting, she'll probably be so annoyed. And I was like, no, I saw her on the show. She's not like that. I said, she'll be so sweet. And he goes, okay, all right, fine. I'm only doing this because I love you. So he walks over to you with his phone, like I'm on there. And he said, my wife loves you. She's trying out for Survivor. I just wanted you to know she's on the phone. And you said, give me that phone. And you gave me this pep talk that was sent straight from God above. Like, I was like, I am going to make it on the show one day. It was so sweet. I was like, of course, I don't remember what I said because I was like, like, oh my gosh, it's Tina. I love her.
About that. Isn't that amazing?
Look at you.
A small world, isn't it?
It is so small. I know. And now we're like friends, and you've spent the night at my house. So
this is why you should always be nice to fans, because someday they're going to be Survivor players and you're going to know them socially.
True.
Exactly, Courtney.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very, very true. So, okay, you find out that you made it. How did they call you this was before they left. So this
Yes.
wasn't like you went to Australia as an alternate and then they put you in. You
Yeah.
literally knew. Okay.
It was about a
Okay.
week later,
Okay.
and they called and told me that I made it. And so I'm highly excitable. And so, like when I was a little girl, they never told me we were going to the circus until I was strapped into the car and on our way, I am screaming, jumping up and down, running laps around the house, jumping on the bed. And then I could not sleep until we left. I mean, it is just, it was,
best.
it's, besides outside of having my children, I mean, it's been the absolute greatest gift, the funnest times, it's epic in my life. It's just epic. And I love the game so much because I'm a gamer. I mean, I'm not like video games, but we play Rummy Cube and Balderdash and all these other games
Mhm.
almost every night. And I'm still so sporty that, to have these epic games. I was a therapeutic rec major, so we were developing games for the handicap. But of course, John, he does these games for the physically able. And I'm in awe of John and what he comes up with all these games that he does. And so for me, it's just like getting to be on a playground, for 6 weeks. It's just, and I love camping. Oh my gosh. I camp every Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's everything. I mean, when my husband said, Tina, this show is so you, he wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look how it
Wow.
worked out for you. It turned into like multi-decades. Like you went out, you won it in the first try. Like pretty awesome. Set the record. I like that you were we had Richard Hatch as the first winner, and then you're our second winner, the first woman to win Survivor. That's
Yay, women.
And not in a snaky way. It was in a very lovely way. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I do think it was slightly snaky because didn't you convince Colby to bring you against his judgment? But we love to see it,
Well, yeah. I mean, that was maybe, I don't know. Did you think you could beat him?
Of course
No.
she did. Have you listened to her? Yes, she knew.
No, I know. I wonder because like, I feel like I think about you and Colby, like me and Todd.
Yeah.
Like if I would have made it to the end, I would have wanted him to win. And I would have said, take me because I'm this mom. And I think I would have been shocked if it would have been me. And I wondered about that with you.
Yeah. So, being old school and only having one season before us, we still played the game where our word was our word.
Yes.
And Colby and I made an alliance not too far into the game. And we decided right then we were taking each other to the end. We were going to do everything in our power to do that. So had it been me that won that last tribal, I was taking him no matter what. And he was taking me. So I didn't have to convince Colby. But I will say, if we were playing today, it wouldn't work. We would not do that. We wouldn't have, it would be every man for themselves. And because we talked a little bit before 50 and, that would be how we would play. If we both got asked, we had decided, we would do as much as we could to take each other to the end, but then there would be, no holds barred.
So I do think it's just more chaos now, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not going to let you just like have a day one person and go through.
Yeah. Alliances are like a lot shorter.
They last for an episode.
But yeah, exactly. And I remember the first time I saw that, which I think was white collar, blue collar, no collar, was the first time that this tribal council, these people voted together. And the next tribal council, these people voted together. And then they go back to camp and there's like no hard feelings and everybody, kumbaya. And I'm like, how do they do that?
It's so different. It is so different now.
It's evolved. It's evolved.
I don't know. I was really nervous about playing that last time if I could do that. And I still really struggled, with that because whenever they voted me out, I'm like, but we had an alliance, and I was so, and I got my feelings hurt, and I was mad at Tyson, and
Yeah.
so it's fun. This new school, I'm not sure I would really have to just turn a switch in my head and give myself permission
Yes.
to almost be the antithesis of who I am. And
Yes.
not say that I'm going to be mean or wicked or evil, but just to say, Tina, give yourself permission to do whatever.
Yep.
To get to the end. Just give yourself that permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like, I think Richard Hatch said it's like if you're playing football, like the agreement is you're tackling each other. So like if you're playing Survivor currently, like the agreement is it's all cutthroat sneakies. So like everyone's friends at the cast party, it'll be fine,
Yeah.
But it didn't used to be like that. People used to stay mad for like years.
Oh, there is so many hurt feelings out there. It's just, oh my gosh, that are still hurt,
Yeah.
I kind of miss it. I miss it. I think it's more sincere. I like when people. I like when you can see that people genuinely hate each other. Like that's real.
The humanity. The humanity. Yeah, I actually
don't have as much hatred on these seasons.
Yeah,
everybody
it's just fun, like Instagram followers, and like
it reminds me of like I always watch. Well, I don't always. Sometimes I have to watch UFC. Right. And these guys are beating the crap out of each other like forever. And then at the end, they're like, man, you were awesome. And they like hug each other with blood all over. And I'm like, men are so freaking weird. What is wrong with these people? And then I noticed that the women who do it do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm missing something. Like, I don't know that, I feel, I told my husband the other day, if I ever played Survivor again, I would have to get hypnotized to push that protective mom out of my vision in order to be able to, play the game the way it, with integrity. Believe it or not, that's playing with integrity when you play it the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, the game itself has changed so much. So Tina, I'm so curious if you could think of like, what is the biggest difference of your first season and your last season?
Yeah.
Like what in your experience as a player, like what are like, or maybe we'll make it the top 3. Like what are the top 3 things that were like completely different?
It's funny because a lot of it had to do with production. Production was really different. First season, whenever we're going, there's no time constraints. You play the game, you go to a challenge, you come back, you talk about what's, going to tribal council, you go up and you talk to people, but, it's not like TikTok, and then you have, what's it called when they shut you down?
Lockdown or gag order.
Okay. So, then you can only talk to people for a little while and then they lock you down and you can't talk again until you're at tribal council. Well, we chatted, as we're walking for miles to tribal council and all the way up through. And then we didn't talk at all to each other at tribal council. And now it's just the opposite. You don't talk as you're going to tribal council, but you can talk to each other at tribal council and screw things around there.
Yeah. Chaos.
There's no respect for the tribal council these days, is there? People, they're talking in the class. I remember in the Villains Beach listening to Jerry talk about the differences of, season 2 and season 8, and then even just to 20, how different it was, and like kind of being like a little mind blown at how different it was. Because she's like, like Jeff came to the camp. He came to your camp in Australia? Is that correct? Yeah. And it's like he came to our camp in China, I believe, once.
No, wait, not when I was there. Yeah, it was probably after I left.
But I was just like, wow, like it's just such a different, like even just in those like 10 years or whatever it was. So I can only imagine like the shock or the difference of, like going from the Australian outback where everything is just like sand colored and, people are like, and then it's like you're in the Flintstones and the new modern Survivor where everything's like bright colors and like.
Yeah.
So true. And Mark Burnett was there. We'd always see Mark and he brought his 2 children. So this was kind of towards the end, And he brought his kids over and introduced his kids to all of us. And
That's so sweet.
so yeah, it was pretty cool, to have Big Cheese there.
Yeah, the big cheese. Yeah, I think he was at ours for a while. I don't know that he stayed the whole time, but yeah, it was nice to have him there. His presence was just kind of legendary. You know what I mean? He's the one who told us, play the game, don't be afraid to play the game, and just remember at the finale you're all going to be friends again. Like just don't get in your head about this. You have to play.
Well, that was nice of him to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember thinking, yeah, right. But he was right. I mean, literally, I got voted out and hugged every single person in my tribe before I left. Just because you really do love these people. I always tell people it's like a trauma bond. You're going through trauma together. I mean, nothing.
The difference, Tina, because I felt that way about the people in China. I felt like we really went through a terrible experience together. And I felt for Heroes and Villains, I felt like I was sort of clocking into and it was like, we all knew Santa wasn't real and you're just like kind of like going through it. And like it wasn't really as sincere as I felt like it was the first time. Did you notice that in the subsequent?
Yes. But part of that I think might have had to do with my cast. The cast with the first time I played, I had so many people that I just loved. I loved Roger. I loved Elizabeth. I loved Kobe. It felt like I had a lot of warm and fuzzies, Well, that last season, I felt like I was playing with a lot of sharks. And
you were.
It's really funny too, because the word trauma, I believe that is an accurate word, because I still dream. Like I probably have at least once a week, 25 years later, I'm still dreaming. And it's always someone's trying to get me out. Someone's trying to get me. It's a stress. I've never had a nice dream about Survivor ever. It's always,
It's so sad.
Yeah.
So they could be the free therapy. I know they get free therapy. They throw us away. Like just
they were like, he'll be fine.
Courtney, I love it because it's like I'm back in the game.
Yeah. I have dreams too. And a lot of, usually it's me, doing something really bad in the game. Like, I can't believe I did that. But one thing about your season, Tina, and I think you were the only season that was longer than 39 days, weren't you? 42 days. So you are the only winner who did 42 consecutive days. Like we've had people do more days, because they've done seasons and won, more than once. But like that to me, I can't even imagine. Now it's like what, 26 days? I mean, it's like Survivor Light compared to that. You know what I mean? Like
I know. I'm so like, you all don't know starvation. You have no idea the starvation. And that's one thing too. They started giving a little bit more, like the coconuts and the things like that, because what they found out on our seasons, that if you don't feed the monkeys, they won't perform, because we couldn't stand up. We would lay around in our shelter all day, because when we tried to sit up, we'd pass out.
Yeah.
So, they had to start giving us a little more, the seasons after us, because we were so malnourished.
Yeah. I mean, when people ask me, is it real? I always laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, do you watch the show? People literally start to like emaciate right in front of your face. Like, how do you think that's not real? Right. Is that makeup? No, it's for real.
Yeah. The guys on our season lost between 30 and 40 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it still like that though? Because I feel like people now they look healthy to me, like on the show when I see them on social media. Like,
yeah, I think it's nearly the same. You know? And when I went back with Katie, because I lost 20 pounds the first season, and I lost 20 pounds that season, but it was we weren't at that short 21. We were still at, I think, 39 days. So I lost the exact same amount of weight that time as well.
Wow. That's crazy.
Even with coconuts and with bananas, which we didn't have in Australia.
Right. Yeah.
had nothing. We had our 2 tablespoons of rice twice a day. And if it rained, we couldn't boil our water, so we didn't eat. And we were there in the rainy season. So yeah, it was awful.
What was it like playing with your daughter?
Oh,
Was it good?
And it was so fun. We had the best time. But my daughter, it's funny because, she lives in Manhattan. She's a city girl. She says nature sucks. That's her term. She is the most unathletic. Her eye-hand coordination, it's embarrassing. And it was funny.
Mom.
And my son are only 13 months apart. So when they called and asked if I wanted to play and did I have a loved one, I'm like, yes. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to pick between these two? But my daughter, she was tougher than my son. I mean, like she can get a tattoo and be like, nothing to it. She has a very high pain tolerance. She's extremely social. She's extremely funny. My son looks like a praying mantis. He looks like this orchid. He was 6'3" and he weighed like 125. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
But he ate like a hollow leg. So I'm like, the child would starve. And then if anything happened, he would probably like try to protect me and wouldn't be social. He had a girlfriend he would miss. I mean, it would not be good. So I had to try to find a way for Taylor to not get his feelings hurt that I was taking my unathletic, unoutdoorsy daughter to the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we had so much fun. I got to tell you this one funny story. So remember, they have that floating island and we have that battling ram and we had to battle each other off with that battling ram.
Yep.
So at one point, Katie has me down on the ground and she has me pinned with the battling ram and I start licking her feet. We are laughing. She's like, Mom, stop. And we're laughing. And Jeff's like, girls, this is serious. He's going mad at us.
He got mad at you. I love that.
He got mad at us. So anyway, we just had a blast. We had so fun.
Oh,
Did she have a good experience overall too?
She did.
Oh, good.
She did. And it's interesting because, like I said, she's really social, and she only got voted off because she had to draw rocks. Because everybody loved her. They were sitting well, so she was sitting pretty to go even further than she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I hate when that happens. That's so unfair. But
I wish they would not do things like that because people play so hard and they've invested so much of themselves. And to go further with that, I wish that they would have another season of everybody who's first off because it's not fair that they didn't get an opportunity to play the game. It's just fair.
Yeah.
They need Francesca, and she's like not going to do it.
Well,
she'd be like, no way.
No, she's a no. She's a big no. Well, that's good because I think like my biggest fear of ever bringing anyone that you care for into this like weird world that we live in is like they very easily can have a terrible experience, and then like what type of guilt do you live with? That's where my crazy brain goes. So that's great that she had a lovely time.
Yeah. And I mean, that's something you guys can say, but I mean, there's only another, I guess Sierra and her mom could have the same thing, but like, it's very rare that you get to do that with your daughter, like, and have this kind of experience. And do you guys talk about it much anymore?
We do. And I'm really good friends with Laura. And
yeah.
It's so special. And to have that truly, in life, you have certain things that happen in your life that are memorable and that mean so much. And, to get to have that, I'm really close with Katie anyway. Yeah. And so to have that to share and to talk about and just to have in our souls together is really, really special.
I love that. That sounds really cool. I think about that a lot because they did talk to me about Blood versus Water. It was me and my son. And see, I was like Sister Christian and he was like a transcendentalist and they thought that was so great, but he's just so chill. He's like a hippie, like whatever's clever, and they're like, he's not going to play this. He's going to be way too nice.
Okay.
And so that didn't work out. But I remember really stressing, kind of like what Courtney said, like if he has a terrible experience, So it's kind of relieved when they were like, no, we're going to go in a different direction, which was great. But tell me about like Tina before Survivor and Tina after Survivor. Did the show teach you anything about yourself that you weren't aware of before? Because this, to me, it's like a crash course in like self-awareness.
I was 40 and I've tried to, for the most part, live a life of intent. I'm very intentional. Every year for New Year's, I'm like, okay, what areas do I need to work on in my life? And, do I work too much or play too much? Do I do this, do that? I always have tried to be the best version of me that I can. It's very, very important to be self-aware. And so I don't feel like from that aspect that this light bulb came on and, But the two things that taught me two things. One is I've always known I'm tough. I can take a licking and keep on ticking, but it kind of showed me how tough I really am, because they would have to carry me off in a stretcher, if in this show I would have stayed, if it was like Naked and Afraid, but there was no end in sight, you have to stay until you tap out. I would not tap out. You'd have to like, well, you'll find my dead body somewhere. So it showed me how tough I really was. And then it gave, for the rest of my life, I have a set point. If I'm cold, I've been colder. If I'm hungry, I've been hungrier. Everything in my life is relative now. Everything, like, I'd be at a restaurant and I'd be cold and some, who I'm with would say, oh, you want me to go get her sweater? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Even though I'm freezing, I have to endure it, because it's weird. It is so weird.
Yeah.
I really
great point. Yeah.
You're like, yes, I can do it. I remember like carrying groceries. I used to live on the 6th floor and a walk up and I would carry I'm like, Survivor, like dig deep, let's go. Like you can do it. It's like you've done way worse stuff,
Yes.
Exactly. So it's a gift in some, in some aspect, it's a great gift.
Yeah. Did it change your perspective on anything being out there when you came back?
Not really.
No, because you were already the tough girl that you were.
I felt pretty steady. People ask me, what do you think it was about you that helped you to win? And one thing is, I just let people be who they are.
Yeah.
Like Keith really need to feel like he was a great chef. Cost me nothing to make him feel like he was a great chef.
See how she won this game?
Yes. I'm taking notes.
Jerry needed to be the boss. Okay, Jerry, you want to be the boss? Be the boss. I'm still going to do what I want to do, but I'll let you think you're the boss.
Yeah.
So you've got to let people be who they are. And that's kind of how as I go through life, I try to, or I notice, what is it that this person needs? And it might be something that I find is superficial, but I'm like, for some reason that's important to them. So I just let them be, who they are and try to work within that parameter.
And that was you before Survivor. And you just applied that to your game, which is phenomenal. A lot of people don't learn any of that until they go on it. People like me. Like when I went on being super sheltered and, and only being around one certain amount kind of person, being exposed to that for me changed everything. I was like, wow, this is insane. Like I didn't realize that, I thought these people were, living in darkness and deceived and, the things that they would teach you in a pretty high control religious system that I was coming from. And it really, really opened my eyes, but I wish I would have gone in there with the kind of knowledge you had of letting people be, that's beautiful. What were you going to say, Courtney? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, do you think that it's like an advantage that you said you were 40 when you played the first time. So like now, like that people are like 17 years, 18 years old, they're like very young. So it's like, if you know yourself and you have this like experience in your life to like allow, because like what I heard from you describing, it's you're very perceptive and receptive of other, right? So it's like you don't always have to be like, I'm driving this. You're like, I'm allowing this, right? And that's a different way to be. Anyway, more nuance perhaps. But do you think it's actually an advantage, I think, to like really know yourself going into a situation like that, because then you're not struggling to frame yourself as like, this is what I'm like, let me package myself for television. You're just being Tina. And then of course people are responding to it. Like the audience is responding to you, but also the people you're playing with are responding to you, versus I think now everyone is like performing a lot of times, and not judging everyone in the new school, you guys, but like, there's a lot of
it's evolution. No, it's what's happened with the game.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, it sounds to me like it's like you're knowing who you are gives you this like stable base to work from. And you've had a very successful career on Survivor.
Yeah. Just
well, thank you. Yes, it does help. It definitely helps to kind of know who you are. And but I will say with that, it was very challenging, extremely challenging, because before I went on the show, I told myself, because I watched the first season and I was like, okay, and I don't know about you all, but whenever I whenever I watch it, it kind of bugs me if I invest that much time in watching and somebody wins that I was like, I really wish they hadn't won, And I'm like, oh, it just bugs me that I've wasted all this time. Whenever I went out there, I'm like, okay, if I can't win, who do I want to win? That's who I would vote for, would be, who would do good with the money and be a good winner. So I went out with that mindset. And then I also went with, I want to play with integrity. So I want to try to play without saying anything negative about anybody. I'm going to try. So we had a producer. Oh gosh, and I'm not going to remember his name. He's not on there anymore. We had Maria Baltazzi, who was an angel saint. I love this woman. And then we had this other guy, and he would frame all of his questions strategically. So, Tina, is Kel an officer and a gentleman, or a liar and a thief? I'm like, are those my only two choices? Because I knew he's trying to get me to say that Kel, he's a liar and a thief, so that they can, put that on. So it was so hard. It was so hard to try to communicate myself in a way that I'm sure that they hated, because I wasn't giving them what they wanted. And, we had a fire on our season that was a controlled burn that got out of hand, and it was really burning surroundings, and it, kind of scary, but I'm not overly dramatic. I just don't get excited or scared about a lot of things. And they really wanted us to be kind of nervous and scared and anxious about stuff. I just wasn't. And so whenever I went to play the second time, Jeff came into my room before the show, and he's like, well, do you think you could open up a little bit more? And I'm like, Jeff, no, this is who I don't know how to be. I'm not an actress. I don't know how to be anybody else but who I am. And so, and another thing is, I didn't want to, in my interviews, I didn't want to say anything that they might could take, and when they're interviewing somebody else, take what I said, like, oh, do you think Tina might feel blah, blah, blah? So I didn't give them hardly any information. I was terrible. So, by the third one, about halfway through, I'm like, this is a television show.
Yeah.
I was starting to get, I see what they need.
Yeah.
Wasn't until then that
And you can still do that and be yourself. You can still, play the game within your boundaries, I think. And that's, did you have more fun when you did that, when you weren't so worried about, or was it more fun to be you?
I love holding my cards close. I love that. I
Mm.
love having a secret. I told no one when I came home. No one knew I made it, to the last three. Didn't tell my husband, my family, nobody.
Wow.
And so that's kind of like whenever I see people who they go out and they find the hidden immunity idols, but they tell somebody, I'm like, what are you doing? Tell no one. Crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel more comfortable holding my cards close. So, but I realized, like I said, halfway through the third time I played, that they needed a little more bada boom, So I don't know if I succeeded, but I tried.
No, you did. You did great. I think you did great in all of them. Very sad about All Star, but completely understood. And I was actually really nervous for you when I found out you were on it. I was like, she was such a great winner. Like I was like, they're gonna get rid of her quick
Well,
because
I
people
told
love
Mark,
her.
I said, Mark, you've got to put us on separate tribes.
Mhm.
I mean, you've got to have a winner's tribe because
Mhm.
they'll just pick us off one by
Yeah.
one. What I'd do, and
Yeah.
so.
And that's what they did,
But
which
I
makes sense.
say, I was pouty that whole time that, I knew I was going. But then they sent us to Patagonia, Argentina. Oh, I had the most unbelievable 6-week vacation.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. They bought us clothes. We went trekking through is that the Himalayas or what? No, what's in the
The Andes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, we went 3-day rafting trip, horseback riding. It was epic. It was
That
epic.
sounds great. That sounds better than like sweating in Panama for.
Phenomenal.
Heck yeah.
It was great. So
And you were with who when you did that? Who were the people that you were with?
okay. So Richard Hatch, who
Mhm.
we stayed, there was this beautiful home that we stayed at right on the water.
Uh-huh.
He made our handler cry. She had our passports. He goes, "Give me my passport." So gave Rich's passport. I'm not staying with you all. So he went and stayed at his own hotel. And so that left me, Rudy, who had gout
Oh
and
no.
couldn't do anything, Rob Sesternino, who really wasn't up for going on any of the excursions that we had. But I got to tell you a funny story because one of our excursions was we had these horses that we were going to go 3 days into Chile and through the mountains.
Wow.
And Rob doesn't ride horses. And
Oh.
He's from Long Island.
he
Like,
did
Yeah.
not want to do this, and he was mad about having to go. And so we were having to pack all this stuff. And so on Rob's horse was the pots and the pans.
oh no.
So he gets on his horse. Immediately, the pots and pans go underneath his horse. They buck him off. And he was fit to be tied. He was so upset. So I can't believe he got back on the horse and went with us. But it
Good
was
for
just
him.
me and Rob and Rudy.
That was it. Just the three of you.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Wow.
wish, see, that's when they should have had Life of Ponderosa because that is
that would have
like
been
lost
some.
footage that we all would
Oh,
would love
yeah.
to tune into. I want to see Richard Hatch make someone cry.
I know. I know. Our poor handler was calling Dr. Liza and like, what do I do? I don't know what to do with him because he was
Oh
threatening
my
to
goodness.
go home if she didn't do this. And so
Wow.
it was a scene.
Yeah. But I mean, how fun that you got to experience both. Because see, I did get voted out pretty early, and it was 6 of us. Excuse me, actually 5, because Ashley was hospitalized. She had like kidney problems.
Oh.
But the 5 of us, it was me and Chicken and Ashley and Aaron and Sharia. And so, yeah, the 5 of us, man, we saw the Terracotta Warriors. We saw the Tiger Leaping Gorge, did a hike through there. We went to the Great Wall of China. I mean, it was insane. We got a massage at a 5-star resort hotel in Shanghai. And while we're getting a massage, me and Sheree are looking at each other and laughing because we're like, it's pouring down rain out there and our friends are out there dying and we're getting a massage.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I it's like, it's so nice that they do that for people because it is really, really, really sad.
I don't
when
think
you
they
have
do
to.
that anymore, though. I think that's all sort of
What
gone
they,
away.
everybody has to stay at Ponderosa now?
I think I don't know. I think if you're on the jury, you stay at the Ponderosa, but I think they said for 50 they're gonna have everyone stay, right? But then usually they let you go home if you're pre-jury now in New Era. I think you just go home.
Really?
Wow.
I think so. Someone who knows, maybe Todd, I don't know, I'm failing in my duties as a Todd person. But I think that the normal thing is that they go home now. I don't know. But I do know it's different. Like even in season 20 at Ponderosa, they took us to the store. That was the only field trip we got to go on. And it was like to buy chips or something. And I was like, I'm good. Like I went to the store the first day and then the next day I'm like, I'm fine. And then JT's like, if you don't come, other people, they won't take us. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to the store every day. Like I'm fine right here. I'm Rob's sister Nino. I'm not going.
No.
But Tina, I feel like you really got to be in like Survivor in like the coolest era. And then you pop up in the other ones too, right? They just but you like back when Survivor was Survivor, you won. And then I saw something online that Jeff was being a little sassy about Parvati's second win and then saying like, oh, she only did half of it's only this many days. And someone said, well, then the only real winner is Tina Wesson because she was 42 days. So you're the official, like real deal longest winner.
So how many days did Parvati, why was hers shorter?
Because it was Australia versus the world. Did you watch any of it?
I haven't, no.
I saw it just on TikTok, and let me tell you, I got caught up in it because she was just dominating on all these like Australian men. Like she was just it was like she put on a clinic. You can't help but cheer. You're just like, oh my God, like I'm so proud of her. And she won it. But I think it was like basically they're saying that it was like an exposition game, so it wasn't a real Survivor. But she played against people from Australia, and then it was like Tony, Suri, and Parvati from America, and then there was someone from South Africa. There's someone from France, I think. I don't know.
And Finland. I mean, it was cool. It was great.
Like all these like top, like, you're sending your Tonys and your Parvatis over to play in this. So you're playing against the best players in an accelerated game. And then, so of course, like the whole like jargon around the new era is that, well, it's faster and it's harder and it's this and this. But then suddenly when Parvati won, it was like, well, it wasn't as long, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
You see how they walk it back, right? And then it's like, okay, well then Tina's the only real winner of Survivor period because she played the most days.
Played the most days.
So not fair. So I mean, I don't care what the situation is. If she can outlast and come out on top, by golly, she's the winner.
Yeah.
No kidding. I thought she was like extra sorry. And I saw something where they asked Sandra, and Sandra was like, no, she won twice. When like you win is a win. So like that's kind of we all kind of agree on this, but
absolutely.
Do
they on the other Survivor, the Australian one, is it just like our Survivor? Do they have the games? Are they living out in the dirt? Do they get
food? I haven't watched the whole thing of it, but from what I understand, it's longer. It's longer than 39 days. And I do believe that people think it's harder. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've heard it's harder. And I've also, I mean, it's very, if you miss old school Survivor, like Survivor Australia is very like that. You know what I mean? It's very much like that. And the players are just real ordinary people. You know what I mean? Just, it's good. I like it. I think it's great.
Do they always play in Australia?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But that, just different people, but they have their heroes over there too. who I've met a couple of them at different events, and super great people. You know, I mean, there's just something about survivors. Todd and I sometimes talk about how great it is, because it's like you can make a friend knowing that they've already been vetted. You know what I mean? They've been through.
Well, you definitely have something to
can.
talk about. But Sandra's daughter was on Survivor Australia,
Yeah.
right? And she was on the
Yeah.
heroes team, and they're heroes and villains.
Yeah.
Isn't that-
Yeah.
Oh,
So like I haven't watched it, but I follow on TikTok.
No, yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, Survivor has really just it blows me away how it has taken off. And like here we are this year about to start season 50 with some of our like most amazing people. I got to know, ladies, who are we rooting for? I got to know. Do we know?
You even need to ask me?
No, probably not.
Or Toby, I'm not
Toby.
angry. But I
Yeah.
will tell you, it's so funny because I was thinking about this today, actually, and I'm one episode behind on the new season, so don't tell me anything that happens.
Don't say a
But
word.
I'm thinking about Rizzo.
Mhm.
That here is this young kid, and he comes in with this confidence level, you know, because most kids, I don't want to say that they're intimidated by adults, but you know, I mean, ought to respect your elders and, you know, whatever. And this kid has come in and just, I hope he wasn't voted off last week, and I'm talking past tense, but, you know, he just has got this air of confidence, and there's his youthfulness and the new era of Survivor that these youngsters can come in and just like dominate us old people, you know, with their skill and their talent. And I'm like, you know, there's one part of me that's a little offended, and there's another part of me that's like, good on ya.
Yes.
Good on ya. So I'm
He's amazing.
proud of him. Really proud of how he's playing.
Fun to watch.
So rooting for Colby with a side of a little space for Rizzo.
Yeah. Is that your answer?
That's Tina's. We're gonna lock it in.
We're gonna lock it in. Okay.
I'm, I'm legally obligated. I'm rooting for
And
Coach,
Christian.
obviously, because we're in a band together. I don't know.
Yes,
if you guys
of course.
the
Yes.
Dragons, but we were in a band. But and then also Suri, right? She's from the area of the Northeast and our era. But I'm rooting for anyone who's like an old school player, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good girl.
And
Yeah, come on. I want my people. I want to be friends with the winner.
Courtney, do you have anybody from the new school era that you're fond of?
From the new school era, what is that? That is Teeny. I know.
Okay.
I met in out in the wilds.
the world.
And I've met a few of the new school people, but I'm like cliquish. I think a little bit of like the people. Like, did we get rained on together? Like, if we didn't get rained on together.
Gotcha.
So, my people, it's like Leslie, Todd, Sandra, like the crew, and then by extension, all of the players. Like, if I listen to like the stories of your greatness by Moonlight in China, then like I love you forever,
Yeah. It's so true.
Good.
And I think I'm looking for Chrissy. I want a Chrissy win. She's one of my best friends. I love her. She is so good with a social game. Like, and I mean, so good. Like, and not even just on Survivor, just in general. She is such a good conversationalist. She listens. She's an active question asker. So she's not just listening. She's asking questions so that you can keep talking. And I am enthralled by her. Her book is amazing. I learned so much about how to, work with people. She's just amazing. I'm so glad she's playing again. And I hope she does well. I really, really do. I'd love to see her win.
Is she so excited?
Oh my gosh. Yes. And I can't believe she didn't tell me.
Oh,
Hussy. But no, she probably couldn't. I'm sure she had to like sign her life away. But yeah, I am so excited to see this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it premieres next month, right? Is it January or February?
I thought it was February.
I think
February.
it's February.
February. Yes. February.
You'll
Wow.
know. Don't worry. I'm sure
Oh,
it will be inescapable for people.
Yes,
of
of course. Yeah, we'll probably have a watch party or something. It'll be fun. It's always fun to celebrate Survivor, especially 50 years. And these are people you'll remember from the show. So, and
Not
now you
50
know who we're,
years, 50 seasons.
or that's what I
Yeah,
meant. Oh, Lord.
For Jenna, right? Isn't she's our season 1
Jenna.
representative? Jenna.
Yes.
So imagine, like, I'm thinking like Tina went from season 2 to like 30, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and she's going from 1 to 50. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was she on the All Stars too, or no?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was. Okay, so she won 8 and then 50. That's pretty crazy.
I know.
She's amazing. I got to meet her at an event a couple weeks ago. So I have to say, I might be kind of rooting for her too. She's so sweet. She's so fun. And she's like me. We both had our water, and we both like have this like, I don't know if it's like a mental thing since being on the show where we can't be without water at all times. Like we always have water with us.
Really?
And we went on the stage to do this Rob Has a Podcast thing together with our bottle of water. I was like, nobody else brought them, but we were like,
The
we were
emotional
trying
support water. I feel like
absolutely insane. I don't know why I'm this way. I
Yes.
literally have a panic attack if I don't have water with me.
Really? And is that not the worst? Having to drink hot water for
That
6
smells like smoke.
It's horrible.
Oh,
And
it's the
we had to boil our water. And there was no like clean water tank somewhere out in the woods somewhere. We
Yeah.
had to boil all, and it was 120 in the day. So it's not even lukewarm. It's always hot.
And it tasted like smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. But
For whenever I was voted off and I went, this was in Blood versus Water.
yeah,
I've done this before, but whenever I got to Ponderosa, they had a bottle of Coke. I downed it. I drank the whole thing, just guzzled it all the way down and had a major burp.
I was
But
going to say.
this is what they do. Like cool people do, like drink a whole can of beer or a whole thing. And it was the best Coke I've ever had in my life.
Yep.
So
I
good.
remember that. The first thing I got was a Coke and a Snickers bar.
Oh,
And I ate the Snickers bar and I drank the Coke just like you with the most ridiculous. I mean, my son would have been so proud of me with the burp that came out of my chest. But yeah, it was something. But it brings you back to life. It's like, oh, sugar. I need caffeine, the things that I missed. Yeah, it was crazy.
maybe they should do that for the after show. What's it, or at Ponderosa, whatever that called, where they show that.
Yeah.
Tell people that that's really what they're doing is, okay, we're going to give you a Coke, but not tell them it's because we want to see how loud you can burp. Then go back and tell all the contestants,
Yes.
their first burp.
I think they don't do the Ponderosa anymore, though.
No, they don't.
Is that correct? I believe because people were
Yeah.
salty or mean, or there was some type of drama. I follow all of this on like various group chats and like TikTok and Twitter. It's like how I get my info.
You think because people just weren't that interested or what?
No, I think that some of the casts were being
Salty and mean.
they weren't being like entertaining, they were being mean.
Combative. Yeah. Well, Tina, I want to be respectful of your time, but thank you. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. Can you just tell us real quick, what is Tina up to now? Is there anything on the horizon?
I retired this year.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, it's not like Win Survivor and you got it made for life,
Yeah.
You've got $470,000 that you didn't have before, which is great, but that's not going to coast you through life. So, and I worked in hospitality. So I've worked every weekend, every holiday for most of my life, So this summer, I had the best summer I can remember, So I got to celebrate 4th of July with all my friends and my family and
Oh my gosh.
travel and see all my friends. And I've just had so much fun. I've just had a good summer. And so now, I spend 6 months down here with my mom in Florida and then 6 months back in North Carolina. And it's great. It's just.
I love it. Well, thank you for spending time with us today. It was so fun to hear your story. You are amazing as not just a Survivor player, but as a friend and a woman. I'm just so thankful that you're in my life. Thank you for.
Oh, Leslie, you're so sweet. Thank you.
No, it's true. Like what you bring into the world is needed. And so thank you for that. So
You're welcome. And back at you, sister.
well, thank you, dear.
And Courtney, did you have a baby?
Did I have a baby? Tina, please, let's be serious.
That's a no?
No,
That-
she did.
Did you
She
not
did
watch
ha-
Survivor China?
she got married.
I dislike
got
children.
married.
No, I don't have a baby. I have
I don't know why I was thinking that, but okay.
no,
Well,
I'm a child-free icon.
Okay.
I am a part of the movement of
you're
you know,
good.
I'm not in favor of it. So, but thank you both for being examples of good moms and leaving others of us free to opt out of that.
Yes, yes, of course.
Honey, you remind me so much of, and I'm sure everybody and their brother has told you this, Gwen Stefani.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. I
Yeah.
used to get that one more in the 2000s, but I do like Gwen Stefani. Although I think she's kind of is she a little crazy now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow her.
He's married to Blake Shelton.
She
Yeah.
did get married to Blake Shelton, but I think it's because she was with the guy from Bush, remember, in the 2000s,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he didn't like her, but then his career went away, so then he liked her just fine. Then they had 2 kids. Then he left her for the nanny, obviously, and then so now she's remarried to someone else. But yeah, I like her from that time
funny.
period.
Let's see.
She's spunky.
Yes, she is very spunky, just like you, Tina.
Wow.
Just like all of us, I would dare say. I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. I think they have a type they like on Survivor.
Yeah, you
people
don't
with-
end up on Survivor for
Merriest of Christmas. I hope it's just so happy and fun and joyful and full of
Thank you.
family and presents and surprises and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you. And you have an amazing 2026. I can't wait to see what's next for Tina.
Thanks, lovely. And maybe I'll see you soon.
Maybe you will.
Bye, Tina. It was so
Take
nice to
care.
hang out with you today and get to catch up. And I love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What a lovely person. I love her. I was looking for literally she was the person in my mind when we thought about doing this show. It's like, oh, I can't wait to hear her story because I don't think I've ever really heard the whole thing.
It's very interesting. I feel like a lot of times the early cast members are like lost media in that there just we didn't have access to them in the way that we have to everyone in the social media era. So yeah, do you now, Leslie, would you say that Tina is like the blueprint for what you wanted to be on Survivor?
Absolutely. They asked that question, what Survivor player do you most relate to? And it was Tina. 100%. I was a Christian. She was a Christian. I was from the South. She was from the South. I didn't have an accent, like a Southern accent, because being on Christian radio, they like taught me how to not have an accent. They said that when you have an accent on the radio, it's annoying. So
Yeah,
like
you
literally.
You newscast.
I think it's cute. I don't know, but yeah. So I felt like I wanted to play with integrity. I wanted to be, I wanted to be somebody people wanted to keep around and wanted to be friends with outside of the game. Because to me, Survivor, and I've told you this before, Courtney, like the night before, I was like, our family's about to grow. I knew it was an opportunity to make connections with other human beings. And I was so excited about it. And so being out there was just it was just life-changing for me. So I'm glad you're a part of it, my friend.
Yes, this has been like the real prize of Survivor is like,
100%.
all the friends we make along the way. I'm not here to make friends. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, exactly. Well, you did fantastic as the host. I appreciate you stepping up for Todd. And I know we got a couple more episodes to do before the beginning of the year. And I'm excited to see. I don't know. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying this?
I am enjoying it. I always enjoy my time with you.
Oh my gosh, you're going to make me cry. Well, okay, guys. We enjoy our time with you as well. Thank you so much for watching or listening, whatever you're doing right now. And just a little heads up, we want to hear from you. We want you here. We want you to leave a voicemail on our voicemail system. It's a SpeakPipe link, and it's right there in the show notes. And you can leave up to 90 seconds, just like Bo did today. Just let us know what you love about Survivor. Was it a move, or was it a season, or was it a person? Maybe it's just the whole franchise, whatever it is, let us know. And another thing too, if you have a question for me and Todd, go ahead and leave us a voicemail. Maybe we can answer it on the show. And if you're shy and you'd rather not leave a voicemail, we also have an email. It's beyondthetorch@gmail.com. And if you just want to send us a little note, we can read it for you. So you don't have to have your voice on, although we would love to hear your voice. I love hearing it. So anyway, thank you for being here today, guys. And thank you, Courtney, for doing such an amazing job stepping in for Todd. I love the way you put that, how he really can't be there. You can step up.
I stepped in.
It never occurred to me that the crown, had to.
Yeah. This is it's part of the responsibilities.
Yeah.
With great responsibility coming in first runner up on a game show 18 years ago. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes along with it. They don't tell you in the beginning,
Well, I love it. This was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. And guys, we will see you next time right here on Beyond the Torch.